part, if you could share some strategies for copywriting in different mediums. I know as a copywriter, you're copywriting for print, you're writing for emails, all sorts of different mediums. Starting out with email copywriting, since that's something that a lot of people listening are going to be doing. What makes email copywriting different from other mediums?
Yeah, absolutely. I always like to say that, the medium that you're writing for is really just about using the same tools for different purposes, right? And I say that because I want everybody to feel encouraged to write, even if they haven't written for a particular medium before. That said, email copywriting is kind of different. The biggest thing that comes to mind for me is that you have a very small amount of space and you are explicitly trying to get somebody to do something. It's really important to, again, make them care as early as possible because it's just so easy to delete an email. It's so easy to just click out of it. You got to grab them right away. And that really, again, comes back to knowing your audience. And the more specific you can be with that audience, the easier time you're going to have.
So number one kind of email that most people are sending out is a newsletter. And, you've waded through tons of B2B newsletters and seen some great ones, seen some mind-numbingly boring ones.
Yeah.
And so in your experience, since you read a ton of these, what are some best practices for copywriting a newsletter?
Not to sound like a broken record, but again, know your audience so that you know that what you're sending them is actually going to be of value to them, number one. But I think the biggest difference between those mind-numbing newsletters and the ones that I really want to sit down and digest is that the ones that I gravitate toward they've put their personality in it, number one. So this could be anything from the descriptions that they're putting with articles that they include to sections about getting to know who's actually sending the content to you. And really they treat it like a way to create a shared experience. It's not just here, I'm going to send you some stuff. Look how cool, right? This is great. Isn't it? Can we agree that this is great? No, it's a way for them to start a conversation. That's what really sets apart a good newsletter from that droning, mind-numbing, oh yeah, I'll just file that away and maybe look at it next year or something.
Have you read the Morning Brew newsletter?
I haven't, actually.
That's okay. That's probably one of my favorite examples because, it's just like summarized news articles. There's links, but yeah, I like what you said about just injecting your personality and, giving people a reason to read more than just having like an RSS feed full of your latest blog.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a 5% open rate type email.
Yeah. And again, if you just want to play the numbers, fine. But I think unless you're really showing who you are and telling your story as a brand, you're just setting yourself up to be viewed as a commodity, right? Like people are only going to look at you based on your price point, and that's not the best way to get long-term customers, right? People buy who you are as much as what you're selling.
That's a great point. Let's transition a little bit to promotions. Say I'm a brand, I've got an awesome 20% off coupon for Labor Day, and I want you to know about it. What tips do you have for writing a promotional email like that?
So in addition to all of the stuff that we've said before, be yourself, be authentic, those sorts of things, you've got a good angle built in there, which is this is for Labor Day. So you've got a limited time. Creating urgency is maybe one of the easiest ways to get somebody's attention and get them to act, along with FOMO, fear of missing out, right? Like, oh, I don't want to be left out, especially when you're talking to a subscriber base. Like you can really amp up the fact that they're part of a select group, right? You can make them feel special, which is great. Those are all pretty basic 101 style things. Back to what I was saying about not overloading modifiers. I think the big thing for me for a promotion is show me, don't tell me, right? Don't tell me, oh, we have this incredible sale. Okay, well, I'll decide if it's incredible or not. Why don't you just show me the sale and then we'll go from there. So again, that comes down to knowing your audience and knowing what they care about so that you don't have to try and like hype it up in a way that comes across as salesy, really, which then feels very inauthentic as a brand.
Yeah, you're right there. If I was being an ass, I would say that when you show don't tell, you're also kind of reducing your workload as a writer, Lathan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But that's a good point about like, they'll decide if your sales incredible. Don't beat them over the head with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I have a little less work, I think that it's more that the work shifts, right? It's more about finding that understanding. Like that's where your work ends up rather than the actual like writing of stuff. But yeah, it's a good point. Maybe I should rethink that bit of advice so I can keep the work coming in, Jacob.
Well, that's just about all the time we have for today's episode. Anything else you want to share with our guests? Anything you want to plug?
Not particularly. I mean, check out VGM if you haven't. We're a great company. And let Jacob know your thoughts, and he'll, I'm sure, relay comments back to me. So I'd love to hear what people think.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again. If you're listening, thanks so much. And we'll see y'all next time. That's a wrap, everybody. Thanks so much for sticking with us and tuning in. Real quick, if you liked today's episode, we'd love it if you sub to the podcast wherever you're listening to it and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. That's a really important one. We love reviews. We'll be launching a giveaway for reviews shortly. To get in touch with us and find more content, you can visit our website, which is nestled right down there in the show notes. Have a great day, y'all. And as always, good luck and good marketing.